these three groups are personifying, in a broad sense, the choices that can be made and have been made. If you do this, what's the repercussions of doing this and not doing that?
Larry, how are you?
Doing good, Steve. How you doing up there?
I'm doing great. And
Uh,
honestly, it is such a joy to speak with you. I am such a fan of X-Men 97. Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
uh, Anytime. I mean, I enjoy talking about my show and the new show, so it's great to talk about all it.
It it
Talk about
really
it.
is it really is amazing that the show has not just come back, but come back with such power.
Yeah.
Um, this hasn't just been, it's nice to have them back. This is a highly celebrated series. And what is it about the X-Men in your mind that resonates so deeply?
I think the fact that the characters, um, or for me, when I grew up, the characters, I love the, a group of, I guess at the time that were teenagers. I wasn't a teenager, I was a kid, but I could relate to like a group of people getting together with similar abilities and problems and trying to become like a found family, of friends, that kind of stuff. Um, the appeal today with of the X-Men is that, um, I would think at its core group, at the core, it's a, it's a stand-in for, um, like groups of people who feel prosecuted by the larger population. But, um, the X-Men to me what the appeal I think it has is the personalities, the characters that are involved and how they interact with themselves and with the outside world, um, and the soap opera that's going on inside of the group. It makes it more fun, how they talk to each other, how they interacting with each other. Um, I think most people don't realize that when we did the original series, uh, the Cyclops, Jean, Wolverine soap opera, it didn't exist in the books. We created it for the show, along with Jean, along with Gambit and Rogue. Those are like soap operas we created to make the show more interesting. But it became popular, so now it's part of the books again. But it was stuff that we made up for Saturday morning that, we thought would be fun. Uh, I don't think most people realize that.
I had no idea that so these were like, because these are iconic relationships, if you will, but that came out of the animated series.
Yeah, uh, we thought it'd be there was a in the comic books there was like a panel of a thought balloon of like Wolverine looking at Jean going, "Hey, man, she looks really good. I maybe blah blah blah," and they never did anything with it. Like
Mm.
they just glossed over it. So we said, "Oh, let's take that and play with it, and do the love triangle type thing," and it just made for interesting characterizations and a reason why one reason why Wolverine would always oppose Cyclops. You know, it's on two levels. One, he's jealous, and the other one, he's always it is who he is. We paired, Gambit and Rogue together because it's like you got the bad boy and the girl who can't touch anybody, uh, and the two different accents. It just made for interesting, stuff for the show. And, when they did the first X-Men animated, sorry, live action film, the director in the director's, um, monologue, on the track, he says he never read any X-Men comic book. He only watched my show. And so he took our soap opera and put it into the live action film. Then that migrated back to the books, and that's how that became canon with the books. Is it's that was that was the how it went from point A to point B to point C. That's how that all happened.
That's wild because that really has reshaped the way the story is being told. And I would love to ask too, I mean, with the new series, this is not a secret. We leave it off with the first season that
Right?
we're dealing with the age of apocalypse here.
Yeah.
And can you talk about the challenges of that? Like you said, you're making changes from the in the past, you're adapting things that you think are interesting, of bringing those iconic storylines. and making them feel fresh, and maybe even why Apocalypse is such a threat.
Right. A lot of that I have to give give credit to like the young talent that's involved with the series. Because when I did my show back in the 90s, Apocalypse had no backstory. We just know he's a bad guy. He wants survival of the fittest. That's it. That's all we had. And so we couldn't explore any of his background of what made him Apocalypse. And then 20 years after we did our show, Marvel filled in the blanks, all of his backstory and Alvin and Sore and all that stuff. And so now they're able to take season two and just really explore it and explain people, how this guy was not born evil, but he became evil. He became, I won't say evil, but he came with this philosophy of what he did, and we show why and how that happened. And then, the two different time periods where he's in the future and he's about to accomplish his goals. Um, but yeah, it's I'm glad they're able to explore all that because if we had the information, we would have done it too, but we had nothing. And and the current series has everything. So, and I think people who know the books will be excited about how it's being depicted, and people who know nothing about Apocalypse, they can track the character and how he became who he is, and it will be entertaining and exciting at the same time. And I think this season two will, especially when you get to the last episode, will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only 4 episodes in, and it's already incredibly intense. I won't give away any clues or anything.
Yeah,
I would dare I ruin it for anybody, but it really is incredible this season. Uh, and I wanted to ask you this. Maybe this is it as well. One of the themes that I've sensed coming up from this story arc is the idea of purpose, holding fast to purpose.
yes.
And I was wondering in your mind, especially as you're dealing with this time travel, and choice and all of these things, why that was an important idea for you to explore is holding fast to purpose.
I think it creates uh very compelling storylines. It's and exploring choices that people have made and the implications, the fallout. Um, Not just be a show about, I got a nuclear bomb, I'm going to blow up New York City or something like that. No, it's by exploring uh, the the purpose, the why people are doing what they're doing. It makes for just a lot more interesting, and to me, stories. I wish the story editors were here instead of me. They could explain it more than what I'm doing. My words are not the best, but I think like a Cable's version of the world is black and white. You're
Hmm.
either he's a soldier. Either you're for me, you're on my side, or you're not, and he'll take you out. Whereas Cyclops on his team, he sees the world in gray. There's good and bad, but it's like there's gray in there, so we should explore that part. Not just make rash decisions like I mean not rash, but black and white decisions like Cable would make. And then you got X Factor, who's like in the middle of these two extreme versions, and we're going to be exploring that middle part. Like, is this the right thing to do? You know, 'cause they're sanctioned by the government, and they're mutants, going after mutants. It's like, is that a good thing? It's kind of like I guess like when you had I think it was what MCU Civil War, between Captain America and Iron Man. You know, they're exploring that difference of a purpose, choices that you made. And so these three groups are personifying, in a broad sense, the choices that can be made and have been made. If you do this, what's the repercussions of doing this and not doing that? And so that's without revealing what's happening in the latter part of the episode you haven't seen yet. That's what they explore is the consequences of your choices.
It's so hard to talk about this series without talking about the spoilers, isn't it? It's just, it's,
Yes. I got to talk in broad
I know you're the
stuff.
broad strokes, and I appreciate that because I don't want to even give away a hint with this story, with this season, because, like I said, it's so fantastic. You've had years of experience with these characters. Just before we wrap, is there a character that you feel closer to than others? One that you either connect with personally or just really feel like I get what they're dealing with?
I have to say, when I was a kid in elementary school, the character of Cyclops always intrigued me. And on a kid level, he had no muscles. Okay, he was a skinny kid with glasses, and he could blow a hole in the wall, right? And I'm in elementary school, and I'm going with my glasses, and I could fantasize that I was that character. Um, so Cyclops has been my favorite character to watch how they've um, developed him and gone through what he his to maturity, I guess. And and for me, I was raised by a single mom, so I didn't have a father in my life. So Cyclops is an orphan too, and we get to explore him confronting his father in my series, which I could relate to very strongly. That if I ever found him, it's like I would be yelling, spitting bullets too at that person. Um, so for me, I guess it was Cyclops. Scott, and his name in the beginning was Scott Slim Summers. So he didn't have any muscles. He's just a little skinny guy, and that's where for me that's where my fascination started.
Well, I can tell you he's my son's favorite as well.
Yeah,
He's only 11, but he loves Cyclops. He really connects with him. So that's a great pick.
with the new animation when they show Cyclops moving around and using the beams, and he's landing like a retro rocket, and like I am so in awe. I love the budget. I love what that was directed by Jake, and I told him I wish I would have had any of the. I had none of the money. You did fantastic with what you did because he had Disney money. I had almost no money, but and so I'm pretty sure your son probably saw the new stuff and it's like, wow, yeah, I would be too. Like, yeah, I'm an old fanboy, and who's blended being a fanboy and a director together, and so that's how I was able to do the X-Men in the beginning. So yeah,
But you know what? And I know we have to go, but I will say this just as a wrap. You know, you say the new animation is gorgeous, but it
mm,
feels like a true continuation. Like the animation may be fresher and a little cleaner because it's, the way that it's been made, but it still feels true to everything that has been done
yeah.
before. And I love that about the show. Honestly, Larry, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you. And I'm so glad that they decided to pick up where we left off, and they understood what we were trying to do in the 90s, and they took the ball like the football and they're running with it, and they're doing a great job. And I'm just in awe and thankful that they have a team that respects what I did. They respect the original comic books, and they're just running it forward. And I think the audience will really enjoy what they're doing.
Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.